You have X-Men-like abilities, but how do you find and tap into them? Stay tuned to find out.
Welcome.
Okay, here's the question.
You serious?
How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph?
Come on.
Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers.
Let's go.
This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman.
And push it up.
All right, what is up? What is up? What the hell is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to your ongoing dose of X-Men-like ability learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman, and you? Well, that, my friend, is infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur, or perhaps you're just one in the making. Either way, you're here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. That's why I'm here hitting you with another solo success episode coming to you straight from the Dark Horse HQ as we dive deep into success with actionable advice, tips, and steps designed to help you level up your game in life, in business, in your relationships. Because as we already know, man, there are no shortcuts to success. That's right, there are zero shortcuts to success except for taking those little steps towards your goal every single day. And every single day, man, we're trying to bring that value to you. And if you're getting that value, please go on down there, hit that subscribe button, drop us a 5-star rating, leave us some kind words in the reviews. You know, it's these subscribes, ratings, and reviews. That's your way of telling those podcast platforms out there that you are getting some value, and kick us up a little bit in the rankings so that we can reach a few more driven entrepreneurs just like you. So if you're getting that value, please take a moment, show the love, and help us spread the word. I appreciate you. You know, as I was listening to Arnie Hoffman share his story of his amazing intuition, his amazing ability to read people effectively, I was thinking back about when we were kids, you know, and I still watch the movies and read the comic books, you know, of the X-Men and Superman and Batman and Spider-Man and all these amazing characters that had these mysterious, these wonderful abilities, right? Remember the mutants, right? You know, the eye beams coming out of the eyes. And if we think about it, if you think about some of the origins, some of these abilities came on and seemed, you know, oh, I'm a little extra strong. Oh, I'm a little extra healthy, you know, but we all knew as we were reading the book or watching the movie, there was something extra special there. It just hadn't revealed itself yet, right? But I think the real cool thing is that the writers, the authors of these stories were purposeful in sharing the fact that these amazing people come from ordinary folks. Right? Professor Xavier, just a guy, right? Just he could read minds, you know. But I guess my point is, it's really pretty close to the truth, which probably what wraps us up in these stories so much, is that even though they had these amazing abilities, they were still just people. And if you think about yourself and me and others around you, we all have our gifts. Right? And when we spend time focused in this gifted area, this area of natural curiosity, of natural talent, and then we consistently practice that area of passion, that area of talent, we begin to develop a skill that almost could resemble one of those superhuman mutant powers. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go out there and, you know, grow a need to step into spandex tights, put a cape on, maybe wear a mask or grow some fur or anything like that. But what I am saying is you have a natural talent somewhere residing inside you, that X factor that turned all those characters into mutants, and you just need to develop it so that it resembles those traits, and you could become a real live X-Men Because think about it, right? If we watch them on TV, we see these amazing athletes, run so fast. You're like, man, is that even humanly possible? Launch themselves into the air. And then you have folks that are out there programming computers, seeming like these mathematical geniuses. And then the engineers that are out there building satellites and making power grids and just creating energy out of sunlight. What's up with that? These are mutant powers, if you think about it. And then you have the amazing dancers, the people that can spur you to move, to get up and go do something with just the power of their voice, that charisma that just seems to ooze off of them. And those teachers, right? We've all had that teacher. You're like, man, I go to school for that one class. And then there's the musicians that just what comes out of their instruments or what comes out of their voice just seems to vibrate in your very soul. And then there's just the entertainers. There's something about what it is they do. Makes you smile, makes you laugh, makes you cry. These, my friend, are mutant powers. They're magical abilities, magical possibilities. They create experiences. And this is what happens when you tap into your untapped gift, your innate abilities, your mutant power. And yes, your mutant power. I think every man, woman, child, whatever you want to call yourself, has something extraordinary lying inside them. At the moment they're born, it's there. It's there waiting to fulfill your purpose. I think not too long ago in an episode, I mentioned that we only have two purposes in life. And that first purpose that you need to set yourself upon is to find your true purpose on this planet, your time here, however long or however short it may be. And then you spend the rest of your time fulfilling that purpose with your superpower, right? With your mutant X power, right? So you just need to discover that and nurture it and fulfill it and bring it and just make it, shoot out of your eyeballs like a plasma beam. And this is where you'll be able to remove the disguise that you're wearing today and shock the world with your true identity. Now, I know in the comic books and in the movies, right, they disguise themselves in masks and costumes to hide the human side of them. I think really in the real world, it's just the other side. We wear the mask so that we don't have to confront this ability. We don't have to put in the work to hone our super skills, to hone our 3 blades coming up from between our knuckles or anything like that. No. I want you to get in there, find that ability, make those blades just come right out of your fists like that and sharpen them to a razor's edge. That's when your real disguise will come off. Now, I get it. Okay, I'm hyping you up. Yeah, enough of the X-Men hints and subtle innuendos. Let's get into, all right, Tracy, I get it. How do I find what my ability is, right? It could be a little hard. I mean, it's probably getting out there and, you have the map and the X is not there and you just start digging holes all over the island and, maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't. You can spend your life digging holes, right? But if you take a minute and think about what were the things that truly thrilled you when you were younger, take a couple of minutes and recall some of the happy memories, say from elementary school, maybe early high school, 8th or 9th grade. Those moments that were truly enjoyable where you laughed and you giggled and you played hard for maybe 6-8 hours the whole day. Sometimes you didn't even go in and eat lunch and you came home and you passed out in the bed just totally fulfilled. Now think about those. What were some of the common threads of the things you were doing? Were you competitive, right? Were you out there playing kickball or tetherball or soccer, whatever it was? You kind of lived for that that bell in school to ring so you could go out there and play it some more, right? You cherish every moment that you could run out there on the field. Maybe you were a gymnast, right? You were out there on the monkey bars, and then later on became the parallel bars or the uneven parallel bars or the rings. Maybe you were a gymnast on the mat. You were, doing all kinds of crazy things like that. Maybe you found you had this ability to draw a crowd and inspire them. Your friends loved being around you. You had the knack for, enthusiastically urging them on. You were able to help them with a project, or, in a certain class. You were great at English, you were great at math, and you could help them elevate their grades from a C to a B and a B to an A, right? And you enjoyed helping them. It actually excited you to do it. Think about those childhood memories. Now, consider some of the activities that thrill you as an adult. Maybe you're still highly competitive, but instead of on the field of football or soccer or baseball, maybe it's now in the field of business. You have a new startup. Maybe you still love gathering the troops and inspiring them into getting projects done for your business or for their businesses. Maybe you're out there helping inspire other teams elevate their game in their business. What do you think it is about those activities when you were younger and those activities you do nowadays that really excite you? And why are you better, even if it's just a little bit better, at those things than other folks? Right? There was an assessment thing I took out there. I believe it was called Strengths Finder. Go take a peek at it. There's a talent theme inside there that will help identify some naturally recurring thoughts and feelings and behaviors, and you can productively apply those things. I think it's really important to understand your unique talents so that you can get answers to the questions we're asking here. Your unique talents show you why you make certain choices, why you truly enjoy arrange the activities that you enjoy, and why you're a little bit better at some things than others, and why you're better at some things than others. That makes sense. See, here's the cool thing. There's about a 1 in 33 million chance that you have the same top 5 talents or talent themes, as I mentioned earlier, than any other person that you know, any other person around you. So that alone shows you are unique, sincerely and ultimately unique, just like each one of the X-Men. Now, if we take one more step, what kind of things you're doing? Let's pause for a moment. Let's say it's the weekend, right? You got the day off. You got 2 days off. I just at the recording of this, actually, as you're listening to it, it's just a couple of days after the 4th of July holiday. You even had 3 days off. Perhaps on one of those days, you get up in the morning and for the next 6 hours, you have nothing on your agenda. No to-dos, no television programs you have to watch, no TPS reports if we're going to be quoting movies, no carpools, no kids around. It's just you and your desire. When was the last time you had that, right? Now, what is your favorite activity? What is it you're going to do? Are you going to come up here like I do and bang on the drums? Maybe you're going to grab a guitar. Maybe you're going to go outside and you're going to work in the garden, work in the yard. You're going to work on the pond. Maybe you're going to work on your deck. Maybe you're going to go upstairs or go to your desk and grab a pen and a piece of paper and start writing a novel. I don't know. Maybe you're going to crack open your laptop and start programming in whatever the current programming languages are out there. I would quote programming languages, but I'd be dating myself if I did that. Maybe you're going to go groom your dog. I don't know. Whatever pet project you have going on that maybe you just started or started months ago, whatever it is, it pulls you in, right? It's like those tractor beams on Star Trek, right? You get in there, your whole mind, your body are just working. Your soul is even in there, right? All of a sudden, time just flies by, right? You lose track of time. Even when your cup of coffee is empty, your glass of water, whatever it is, before you know it, 3 hours have just zipped by and you haven't even thought about the fact that you didn't have breakfast, or it's almost lunchtime. So here's the question I need to ask you. What if your work could be just as fulfilling as that time escaping project you stepped into in the scenario we were just chatting about? Could it really be possible to capture that kind of magic and harness it in your work, in your business? Yeah, it is. If you take close notes of the moments like that you happen, that you stumble across, you're like, man, time just zipped by. So wait a minute, Tracy was telling me about what was I just doing? Write that down and think about how can you work that into your business? How can you even make that your business? Because if you're so captivated in an activity that you lose track of time, you're experiencing one of the key symptoms of flow. And if you're experiencing any amount of flow in a project, in a business, in an exercise, then you're most likely using one of your true mutant talents. Yeah. Your true natural innate abilities lying dormant inside of you, just waiting for you to tap into them. And I think the last little clue I want to leave you with is, what is it you're always yearning to do, right? You've got that little flicker of a flame just kind of burning inside of you, just sitting there. And it's just waiting for you to stoke it. Give it a little breath of oxygen. Give it a little bit of tinder to make it grow and just turn into a roaring fire inside you, right? And when you think about all the little things, I mentioned writing earlier. Hey, I think I want to write. Cool. Start a blog, right? I want to be a speaker. Cool. Start a podcast. I love to crochet. Cool. Then sit down and crochet your ass off. Then you can turn around and sell them on Etsy. All right. Maybe you love to gather. You have this flame. It says, I want to gather people around. Cool. Start a meetup for whatever topic that you're passionate about. Or, maybe you like all three. Cool. I'm going to start a blog about crocheters and then gather them around into a group once a month to sit around and chat about crocheting. I know, random example, just kind of rolled off the tongue. But here's the thing. In a perfect world, we each and every one of us, we get to use our X-Men abilities, our strengths, our natural talents at work and in life every single day. Fortunately, as we well know, it's not the case for most folks. I think about 63% of the workers worldwide are not engaged in their work. They're doing it, but they're not engaged in it. And if you think about it, that's not even including the 24% of the folks that are actively disengaged. Some of them aren't even doing it. They're just kind of there. And you as a business owner, you're paying for that. So my dark horse friends and family, if you find yourself in a place where you're not using your gifts, you're not in that state of flow, and you're kind of realizing it's kind of painful, it's a little uncomfortable. Well, here's the cool thing. You just had a little piece of knowledge. Life is a journey. It's not an isolated day, right? Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is still to come. And today you have that at your fingertips right now. Find one small way to begin recapturing some of the joy that you felt back in grade school, back in 8th and 9th grade we were talking about earlier. Get lost in your favorite activity. Lose track of time. Get into that flow of that Saturday morning we were talking about and hone in on what it is that you just yearn inside to do and start damn well doing it. I know you can. I totally believe in you. All right. So Friday, what are we going to chat about on Friday? Friday, we're going to talk about some signs that you're focusing on the wrong niche in your business. All right. So we've talked about how to tap in those abilities you got. Hey, I figured out I'm going to do this. Let's make sure you're not focused on the wrong niche as you're using those innate X-Men abilities that you have inside you. All right, my dark horse friends and family. I know you want to keep getting all these amazing tips you get on this podcast here. So be sure, like I mentioned earlier, go down there, hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star rating, drop us some kind words in the reviews, drop us some suggestions of who we should interview, ask questions. I read each and every one of these reviews, so I will be sure to answer your questions as they come in. And again, it's these subscribes, ratings, and reviews that you use to tell those podcast platforms out there that you're getting that value, to give us a kick up in the rankings a little bit so that we can reach more driven entrepreneurs just like you. Please take a moment, show the love, and help spread the word. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
And you know this!
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.